King.
Hmm.
Hello, I want to
Sure.
practice English. This is another day for me to improve my English.
Sure. Let's do it. So, we're doing a daily speaking practice again. How about a new prompt? Imagine you're describing your favorite
Yeah,
breakfast
1 minute.
to a friend who's never seen food from your. Yeah,
1 minute, please. Yeah, okay, let's start.
go ahead.
Yeah, tell me how what topic we need to select today.
Let's try talking about time management today. Maybe how you balance work, family, and English practice.
Okay, I think we can talk to another topic.
Sure. How about travel dreams? Is there a place you've always wanted to visit?
No, I think I can talk about education, why education is important.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So education is very important, right, for everyone because education not only give us opportunity to grow financially, but it give us like it make us a good person, right? So it is very important to have a person educated. We can talk to anyone, or we can argue with a person if there is something wrong. So if you have good education or good knowledge, then yeah, it is we can discuss, we can travel to all over the world, since there are many country which speak English. So yeah, we should have a knowledge of English. So to learn English we should uh, have a good education, right? So if you want to become something like doctor or engineer, or any if you want to choose any other professional, then yeah, uh, education is uh, required.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty good. Just a few little fixes. Instead of education give us, say education gives us or education provides. Also, we can argue with a person, sounds more natural as we can talk with people or discuss with someone. And maybe tighten it like education is important because it opens opportunities, helps communication, and builds confidence.
right. Yeah,
Want to,
it help
yeah,
us to improve the
yes.
personality of a person if a person is educated. So yeah, a person can have a good personality. Sometimes people can argue that no, education is not necessary to have a good personality, but most of the time, around 80 to 90% time, it is good to have a good education. So we can see
Mhm.
like people who study in a good school or having a good education, they are more uh, yeah, more uh, they have good dressing sense, they have good way of talking. Yeah, so everything is matter when we have a good education. We can talk to anyone, or we can argue anyone with the correct information.
Hmm. That was
Mm.
much clearer. Just a few tweaks. Instead of education is required, maybe
Mhm.
say education opens doors, but personality and communication matter too. And we are careful not to generalize, like saying people from good schools dress better, since that's not always true. You can say instead, some people might develop confidence or communication skills through education, but everyone is different. Keep your ideas, they're good. Just make them natural, accurate, and balanced.
Right, yeah, and if you want, I would like to add one more thing. Like if we want to get a financially freedom, then first the first requirement is we should have a good education, right? So if we have a good
Mm-hmm.
education, so we can get we can have a more opportunity, and we can get a good job, or we can choose any profession. But yeah, sometimes people can argue on this thing, like if they inherit money from their parents, or from their uh, uh, ancestor property, so they don't need education, right? Earlier we in ancient time we have seen like the people who are not educated, they have a good sense, or they have a good uh, they were financially free, right? So we can't say like for those things education is must. But yeah, most of the time around 7 to 80% people who are living in the world, uh, you know, it is required to have a good education, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That was
yeah,
really
yeah. People will talk to them much when they have a good education, right? Yeah,
mm-hmm.
there will be few
I
people
see.
who don't have good education, but they are in a good position. But when they reach a good position, they try to learn new things. So this is there we can say there are two type of education: informal or formal education. So formal education, which we get in the school, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
through which we learn from the books or somewhere else. And informal education is something that we learn from the environment, right? To
Right.
seeing the other people, and to judging the other people. Then we learn from, sometime we learn it from ourselves, without judging other thing. But yeah, we learn from our mistakes, so that is informal. Yeah. So
That
we,
was
yeah.
beautifully said. Yeah. Just a couple of little tweaks. Instead of we can learn from by judging others, a clearer version would be we learn from our own mistakes and from observing others. Or more
Right,
simply, we learn from experience.
right,
Also, try sometimes people succeed without education through other skills or opportunities. But for steady long term growth, education helps a lot. You
yeah.
can keep your core message, just
Yeah,
phrase it
right.
naturally.
Right. So, what do you
Do
think? What is it really required, or it is not necessary? Because if we argue, or if we check history, so earlier, most of the people were not properly educated, right? So that time they were
Mhm,
having a good wealth.
mhm.
They were happy. They were having a good sense. So sometimes we can argue that yeah, it is not required, but for the current time period it is required. But if we talk about the history, so it was not important, I think, that time. What do you think?
That's a good question. It helps to separate the idea of education from schools. People have always learned, right? Even without formal schooling, like elders teaching survival skills, farming, trade, or storytelling. So, formal education isn't always required, but learning in some form always is. Today, access to information is easier. So, formal education isn't the only path, but it's still very helpful for structure, critical thinking, and more opportunities.
Right, nowadays you see there are a lot of new technologies coming on. So we are getting it from the, the formal education, right? We have a formal education, then we have education, we are educated, we have a basic foundation of education. Then we are learning the advanced thing like AI tool, data analytics, robotics, machine learning, and all those things we can learn, right? Without having a foundation, we can't do this. Even in the history, we have seen like if there were scientists, so they research, they did that informal education, they try, failed, they and then they try, right? So they learn from their own mistakes. So this, that was also education, but yeah, sometimes we can say it was informal, but now we must need a formal education to get succeed or to get more opportunity in our life, right?
Right. Yeah, that was well put. Just a little correction. Instead of foundation of education, you could say basic education or foundational education. And
Yeah.
rather than get succeed, say succeed or find more opportunities.
Okay,
Your
yeah.
meaning is strong.
Yeah, sometime what
And
happen,
with
yeah,
these
when I talk, I don't
traits,
get a word. So yeah,
mhm,
it become difficulty for me to get the right word at the right time, dude. Right. So yeah, sometime I think that will come only when I practice more, right?
right. Yeah, that's very normal. You know, the more you practice, the quicker those words will come naturally. You're
Right.
already doing the right thing by
Yeah.
speaking
And then
regularly.
one more thing that I would like to discuss with you, like there are many challenges which we are facing while like people are getting educated. Like in many of the country where the infrastructure is not good, people are not getting modern education. Like they are getting only basic things which is required, but the pattern they are getting, or the pattern they are learning is very old, like 10 to 20-year old, right? uh, so that need to infrastructure, and the way they learn, that need to be improved, right? If we talk about the
Right.
skills and all those things, yeah, so that need to be improved, infrastructure need to be uh, updated, so they can be learn quickly, and they are aligned with the international level of education, right? If we want to have a, you know, developed country, then we should have a advanced level of education. Like earlier people used to get the degree for getting job, but now it's not about the getting job, right? We should have some, like we should have a depth knowledge of if we are getting a degree, right? Because nowadays there are many institutions which are open everywhere. Like we, earlier there were few colleges or a few university where people were used to complete their uh, bachelor degree in engineering or doctor degree in medicine, right? But nowadays people, government has opened many institutional, so the poor people or needy people can get good education, right? But the private institutions sometimes take the benefit of those things, government policies, and then they don't focus on giving the right education to the needy peoples. They focus on the distribution of, like, enrolling more people, more student on their institution, and then uh, they try to make money from those needy students, right? They don't give a proper education, yeah. So I think there we should have a proper infrastructure, and there should be a higher level of technique where people can learn in a better way.
Those are really thoughtful points. Yeah.
Yeah,
Many
so I
systems
would,
face those
yeah,
challenges.
yeah, so I would like to
Go ahead.
summarize you what we have discussed today.
Of course.
Can you please summarize what we have discussed today?
Sure. Today we practiced English speaking and talked about time management, reducing phone scrolling, and building consistency. We also practiced describing experiences and giving an opinion about education.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for today discussion. We will meet on another day with a different topic. So yeah, thank you so much.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
See you
Bye
next
bye.
time.
Yeah. Bye bye.